Hello again. Welcome to our book study. We are talking about chapter 4 today. What's your story? I found several takeaways in this chapter. How about y'all?
For sure.
So, especially the part about your why not being the same thing as your story.
Yeah,
So
that's
that was
important to differentiate, right?
yes, yes. And also then further in the chapter where it says that your story should not include a product testimonial, which that was news to me. So, and we'll probably need to talk about that. So, what were some takeaways that y'all had?
Yeah, I think we can definitely talk about that. Who did I interrupt? Gina? Is that you? I
And I
think on
liked,
page, oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well, I was going to say I liked on page 56 the outline, the 4 questions, and then how on the next page she showed and just took it through the phases as to how to piece it together, and that you should be able to tell your story in 45 seconds or less.
Yeah, so what I have taken away from this part is maybe not so much your story like in your posts, but your story like, how last year when I was going to networking events all the time and people would say, well, what do you say? How do you share? How do you get past the MLX stigma or whatever?
Right.
And this is it. This kind of is your elevator pitch. This is if you saw somebody you haven't seen in a long time at the grocery store and they ask, what are you doing these days? Like, Angie, if they know you've retired, they're like, well, what are you doing these days? If you can answer them in 45 seconds with this format, that's, I think this is different than your posts and stuff. This is really I'm in an Uber and the Uber driver has asked me what I do.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right. And frankly, I need to prepare that because people ask me that and I'm always caught like, and I wind up saying, I do private tutoring.
It's more comfortable. For until I closed my cake pop company, even though I was making way more doing Plexus, every time somebody asked me what I did, I said I made cake pops, even though I was making way more selling Plexus. It is a comfortable response that you feel like is going to be more respected than.
Well, and I kicked myself afterwards, but it's because I don't have something prepared. I haven't thought about something concise to be able to say. So that's the thing that I need to do, which is what this chapter is talking about.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, what other takeaways? Christy, you were about to say something when I commented about the elements of piecing
and
it
you were
together.
on 56. I was just going to say I really liked on page 59 there in the middle underneath suggesting behavior, where she says, remember that with everything you say and do, you are teaching people how to do this business. Right? Because ideally, they're going to order from you and join, and they will have learn or think that they need to do what you did when we're trying to suggest that they get 3 customers. Right. And so everything that you're doing, and that kind of goes back to having a really good, simple system, like add people to the messenger event, follow up with them, help them pick their combo, get ordered. And then when they have somebody interested, they're going to think the system is add somebody to a messenger event. Like those are duplicatable, systematic steps.
Right. Right.
And if you're giving like a 40-minute spiel about what Plexus is, but people are gonna be like, I can't.
I don't want to do that.
I don't know enough. Right. Then their answer is always going to be, I don't know enough, because you've come off like a know-it-all.
Right. Lynn, what did you want to say?
I also had an emotional feeling with this chapter of if I didn't sit down and write my story and then practice my story, I had a fear of missing out, if
Well,
that
and
made
that's what I
sense.
feel like all of those occasions when I see somebody and they say, what are you doing now? And I say, I do private tutoring.
Yeah,
I'm already kicking myself
right,
for not being prepared to respond to that differently.
right. And it's also, I think, getting out of our heads that, okay, we haven't reached dual status, but everybody started somewhere. Everybody started as a VIP. Everybody started as a customer. Everybody ordered their welcome pack. Like every single diamond, triple diamond, whatever, everybody started at some point. And
Mhm,
so we just have to, go back to that and borrow some of those stories, like borrow the diamond documentaries.
mhm.
I also realized second time around in Plexus, reading again through this book, 'cause I've already read through most of it, um, that looking back of when I first started Plexus 6 years ago, I was actually looking for a business. I wasn't looking to change out my supplements. I knew that my supplements weren't working for me and would give me a stomach ache, but um, I have always had an eye on network marketing. And Plexus is like the seventh or eighth company that I've been to, but it's the one that I've had the most success with.
Yeah, I think going back to kind of your thought, Angie, of your answer of I do private tutoring, is it's the practice. So when I was going to a networking event every week, my whole way there, I would practice. I would get out my thing. I don't know. I'm sure I told you guys that, but I would get out my thing and I would voice memo myself. I would record it, what
Mhm.
my 45-second spiel was going to be. First of all, to make sure that it was under a minute, because our whatever we could say was timed, but also because I stumbled a lot. And because I was lots of times there would be people that were already in there, I wanted to always say something a little different. So I would record myself and listen, record myself and listen, record myself and listen over and over until I felt like when they said, Christy, your turn, I could just stand up and say it confidently, quickly, and concise.
Mhm.
And what I would normally do is choose something specific that I was going to touch on that week. But if you're not going to networking events every week, really, you're just starting with what is your one story? And I highly recommend writing it down, but then saying it and recording it over and over until you feel good about it. And then listening to it a few times a day, because if you get caught off guard, like when you're going to an event, okay, I got to be ready. I got to know what to say. But when you stumble upon somebody at the grocery store and you taught their kids and they want to know what you're doing now, if it's not right here, you're going
Mhm.
to say tutoring. And so
Yep.
much like listening to affirmations daily and saying them daily, having your story ready and practicing it daily can really benefit you, because then it's going to come out whether you meant for it to or not.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Another thing I really liked in this chapter, and I've read this book before, but I don't remember noticing this particular point, is um, how to talk about a slow start. On
What
page
page are you on?
64, page 64 at the bottom. What if you've been doing this a while without a lot of success, but you've decided to ramp it up? And it talks about how to address that. For example, for the last year, I've loved the wholesale discount and home-based business tax deductions, but I've treated this like a hobby. which is probably the best angle for me to use. I've treated it like a hobby. Okay. I'm surrounded by success stories of what can happen when you treat this like a business, and I'm ready to run. I'm looking for people to run with me.
I love that. And that feels very honest to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could say something very similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
100%. You know, like for instance, if somebody asks what you're doing and you say the plexus thing kind of quickly, and if they happen to have been following you and say, haven't you been doing that for a long time? This is your answer.
Yeah.
Your answer isn't, yeah, but I kind of sucked at it and I didn't make any money, but I'm still hanging in there. Right? It is, yeah, but not
Yeah,
very seriously. I've loved
I
your
have,
product.
but I've treated it like a hobby,
Yeah.
and I'm ready to ramp it up a notch.
Yeah. This
Could
is
we
a good
post
post.
this on our page?
That was exactly what I just said. This is a really good post. Putting it into
Mhm.
your words. This is a great post.
It's very honest. It's very honest.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I need to flag that. Talk amongst yourselves. I need to get something. No, seriously, talk.
We're talking. We're talking. Still.
I forgot to
so-
give you a topic.
Has anybody written down their story? Like, I'm happy to read what I wrote, but I like what was in the book better.
Go ahead.
Easy.
I wrote, I love network marketing where I can help a few people who help a few people who help a few people who help a few people. 7 levels deep and as wide as I possibly can. Have fun, earn a substantial income to help pay for my mortgage, daughter's wedding, vacations, and build savings, all while not touching my main income source. But I like the second one better in the book on 65, where it says, when I started, I really got in my own way. I wasn't coachable and I let fear get the best of me, but I'm surrounded by success stories of what can happen when you're coachable and follow the simple, duplicatable business. And I'm not going to let fear keep me from reaching my goals. I feel like that really applies to me now.
Yeah. Are you open to a suggestion on the story you wrote, Lynn?
Of course I am. What you got?
That would repel me.
Yeah.
The part about I help people who make them help people, make them help people. To me, that sounds like you're just trying to get people to go to work for you.
Mm.
The last part of it, I enjoyed.
Where I help pay my mortgage, my daughter's wedding, vacations, and build savings.
Yes,
Yeah. All while
that
not touching my
is
main
personal.
income source.
But you lost me way before that when you're telling people to go to work.
Okay.
That's just my own personal.
No, you're good.
Everybody
That's why I wanted to-
may not. Yeah, everybody may not feel that way, but there are, you know, we're much more likely. People are not looking for more work.
Right.
And we're not trying to be sneaky with them. We're sharing the business opportunity and the income possibility, which is what you did in the second part of your thing. Without touching my regular income, I'm able to add to these things. That is appealing.
Okay. Yeah, everybody's
Most
looking for
people
more
don't
money, but
know.
nobody wants to work.
Yeah, and
Well, most
and people
don't
are
know
willing.
what it is.
People are willing to work if it's simple and they feel like it's not going to be like a second
Job.
part-time job.
Correct.
Yeah, so sharing the story of why it's important to you to do it
Thank you.
is the second part. So I would just cut off that, throw away the first half and stick with the
That's
second
what
half.
I did. Crossed out the top and took the second.
Yeah, because that second part is fantastic. And there are a lot of people that will relate to that. A lot of people our age whose kids are getting married, you know, just having gone through one and realizing how over budget I went based on the budget my husband gave me and realizing I still have 3 more to do.
Yeah, my daughter's gone over her budget. So, I mean, I've kind of told her, like, this is how much I'm paying, your dress needs to be this. And now I'm helping. And then she's come back to us and asked for both me and the ex to help each month. So, yeah, so I am looking seriously at this as a strong, consistent business.
Yeah. And there are so many people our age that are 100% in that boat, because if you've done it once and you have more than one kid, you realize the last month, 400 million things come up that you have to have, even though they weren't in the budget. You know what I'm saying? You've spent the budget and then things popped up and you're like, well, that actually has to, spending $450 on my real father to have clothes to wear. That wasn't something I budgeted for, but when he shows up, and my husband's like, yeah, you got to go get him clothes. And then, 3 weeks after the wedding, and my husband's like, what is this Macy's bill? And I'm like, my dad's clothes. And he's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So touching on things like that people in your age group are going through is a huge part of value that you can post and share about. I think retirement also, saving extra for, listen, when Rob stops working, I don't want to do less. I want to do more, I'll be honest, sometimes I see like the people working at Walmart as greeters that have got to be like 75 years old. And I'm like, if they're doing this for fun to say hi to people, that's great. But I feel like most of them are not. Like they are making ends meet. And I'm like, I don't ever want it to, I don't want that to be a thing. Like I want to retire and just travel around and see my grandkids and great grandkids. That's what I want to do. I want to travel to all the places like my grandma did. Wherever my kids are, that's where I want to go.
I just added that to my wife. Retirement security.
Yeah. And retirement's fun. Like we don't work our whole life to then like sit at home and flip channels on the TV because we can't afford to do anything. Like that sounds awful. I'd rather just work.
Right.
And so I think when, last night on the call, how we talked about like our ideal customer and stuff, recognizing that very often you're going to attract people in your similar demographic, and then using this to create your stories and your posts and realizing you're not the only one that's going through this, who has these thoughts, but many people may not realize that there is an option for them like this. Maybe their mom sold Tupperware and they're like, listen, I got cabinets full of Tupperware. How many bowls can I sell to somebody? Which is where our products that are consumables are a game changer.
Yes.
When my best friend sold 31 bags, my husband at one point said, if one more bag comes into this house, we're going to have a problem. Because every month I was buying bags to help her reach her goal. And I had 400 different 31 bags and they were all cute as can be. But how many times can you make your friends buy a bag? Whereas this is truly, not only are you serving your friends, your people, and them serving theirs, but if they're doing it appropriately, they are using their products every month. So you are not being like, hey, I know you liked that bowl in purple. We've got it in turquoise this month. Would you like the turquoise one? People succeed in that. And it's mind blowing to me. Like, I'm just like, how do you sell that much plastic with lids? That's amazing. To me, it is. Like people succeeding in things like that. I'm like, you could sell ice to an Eskimo. A Cadillac drove past me the other day and it had the Tupperware logo on it. And I was like, she sold so much plastic that she earned a Cadillac. Like, that's mind boggling to me.
Well, but I think that's also the building the team part, because my mom was in Mary Kay and you had to rise to the level of director and beyond. So it was definitely about having a team.
Right. And a lot of companies are set up that way where it doesn't matter how much you sell if you don't have certain like you'd have to have like X number of golds to be able to do this and X number of senior golds to do this. And I'm so glad we don't do that.
Mhm.
I'm so glad that ours is not set up that way.
Well, it could be done and should be done.
You know, page 66, I feel like can fall in line with things you were thinking about your ideal customer. And then also when you are coming up with names for your note cards, looking for these.
As well as creating a story library.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Get my little flag back out again. List making.
You know, I liked, and I think it's very real, on page top of 63, where it might take a minute for you to really dig deep into your real story. I think that kind of falls along with your real why also, right? But when you really know that and know that as you work your story and rework your story, it's just going to become more real and more authentic and more natural for you to share. It's okay to suck at it a few times. Like, don't worry about it, because you know what they say. You can give the wrong message to the right person and they're going to order and take off, and you can give the perfect message to the wrong person and they'll never order. Like,
Yep.
Just sharing is so critical.
And we've said before, you have to embrace the suck.
Mm-hmm. Everybody sucks at things the first time they do it. Like, there's not a single gymnast at the Olympics who came out of the womb doing 400 back handsprings and
Right.
twists it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And can I call the elephant out in the room?
yeah.
You know
Okay.
what company she was with, right? The author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm reading and reading and going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, that's
Me too.
right?
Yeah. Especially with what happened. I mean, because that happened since we started this book.
Right.
Correct.
I know.
Last week.
Yeah, just last week. So no, but I love this book. It's each chapter is short, it's applicable. We just have to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, in that company, people who were great leaders and great at this business will rise up and do it again. It's, you know, it's like millionaires who go bankrupt. They typically become millionaires again within 5 years because they know how to do the work. The ones who maybe got lazy and didn't lead and whatever, you know, they'll have issues. A lot of them are going to the same company, and it'll be interesting to see how they do, what happens. But regardless of what company you're with, all of these tips, you know, if she's ready to do it again, she will take these skills and do it again.
Yep. So how long do I need to wait before I reach out to my friend? She didn't have a team under her, so it's fortunate, but my friend who was with this company.
Yeah, I have a very good friend who is one of my best. We went to high school together, one of my best. She's a great Plexus customer, and she actually sells Rodan and Fields because it's fascinating. Because even though she loves Plexus, her daughter saw a great improvement with her acne. And so she felt comfortable sharing her daughter's success story. as her platform. And that's why she sold that, you know? And so I just reached out to her. I mean, we talk regularly anyway, but the next morning I was like, I am so sorry. Like, I don't know how much that affects you, because I don't think she had a big team or anything. She probably just had customers. So her switching to affiliate will probably not make much of a difference to her. But I was like, you know, I'm here for you. You know, like if this income, if the switch is making a difference in your income, you know, I'm ready for you to come over here and, you know,
Yeah.
I'll help you replace that income.
Yeah. So, of course, the other issue with my friend is I couldn't ever get her to be consistent with Plexus products. And then she started using some other system and had success. So,
Yeah, it could be that. And most of them are switching to a supplement company. So we'll see how it goes.
okay.
We'll see how it goes.
All right.
You know, at the end, it says facts tell, but stories sell. And we've known that forever. So the sooner you become good at crafting, editing, and collecting stories, the better you'll be at this gig.
Yep.
You know, so
That's
to
the
me,
truth.
like I said, this chapter is very much about your verbal pitch and not, you know, I can go on and on about posting techniques and posting things, but I don't think that's this chapter. I think this chapter is very much about owning that you are in this industry, owning why you are in it and why you love it, and learning how to share it confidently. And if it is, you know, how she said, let's see, she was talking about what she said before her products even came. I feel like I underlined it. Maybe not. Oh, when you're new and haven't used the products yet, be honest. If someone asks you, when I read this, I was 67. In my mind, I'm thinking, if you feel like you haven't had, I know we've touched on this for a few weeks, the financial success, right? So rephrasing this, she's talking about, like, I can't wait for my new business kid to get here. I was so blown away by the clinical studies before and after pics, you know, that I didn't want to wait to start building a business of my own. So if you can kind of craft that as a, you know, falling in line, Angie, with that, you know, other script that she has about maybe just treating it as a hobby. But now that it could even be something really true of, like, now that I've become such good friends with people who have had great success with the business, I know that I can do it, and I can't wait to start treating it, you know, using this, can't wait to start using the systems that they have taught me to grow this as a real business. You know, just again, a kind of tweak on, like, people can be ugly. Nobody ever makes money doing those things. Nobody, you know, people can be ugly, but we do.
Right.
You know, we really do. I make significant money doing these things. And I think as a team, hopefully we're showing you, it's only been 1 month since convention, but creating the systems, sticking with it, continuing to show up. It may only be a month, but that's a month longer. It's probably 3 weeks longer. I feel like then our upline and our team as a whole have really dug in post convention ever before as a whole, you know. And I think being able to say that, you know, your team has put into place some very simple systems to help you start seeing success, and you are loving it. You know, it's made it much easier and much more attainable.
Yeah.
And hopefully
It no
that's
longer feels like we're a bunch of little islands out here bobbing along.
Yes, correct. Correct. You should have a plethora of people that you can pull from at any given moment to get help or advice from, or testimonies from, or third-party validation from.
Was just jotting down some of what you said so that I can use that. So, yeah, this is a good chapter. I don't, apparently there's not a whole lot about it to talk about. Because we seem to have talked it through. This one is, I think this is a dig in on your own and do the work kind of chapter.
Because all of your stories are going to be so individual. I would say that maybe, just like Lynn did, like in our chat, write one up and stick it in there, and don't take offense if people have suggestions, because any of us who share a suggestion with the other person about maybe how to change something, if you fully know that we're doing it out of love because we want you to succeed, and take it with love, and either take it or don't, right? You may feel like, nope, this really feels good to me. Keep it. Or if you're like, you know what? I knew something was different, and now they've helped me kind of just change a few words. You know, having Angie as an English teacher help our verbiage, help our words. Like, what a great resource. We have our own English tutor helping us craft a story. That's like having somebody help us proof our college ready essay. So I think if you're open to it, do some work on it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be done. Maybe say, hey, this is what I've started with. This is what I've gotten. Suggestions, thoughts would be helpful. I think that would be something good to do, because you got 20 minutes left that you had blocked out on your calendar for this call. Maybe work on your story instead of getting up to fold laundry.
Pack for vacation.
Pack for vacation. Make lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Work on your.
That's actually what I was planning. It's like, okay, we're going to finish up early, but I'm going to work on this.
Stay in your seat, work on your story, and maybe think about your ideal customer when working on your story. Like, if you see your dream customer at the grocery store, you don't want to be flat-footed. You want to be like ready. And also authentic.
Yes. I think that's a good idea.
Everybody here is probably willing to help each other. That's all I got.
Great.
What you got, Angie? Anybody else have anything, have questions? I saw Gina type something. I didn't read it.
I think she was asking for feedback on something she posted last night.
Okay.
And I'm going to check my outline. I think we might be doing 2 chapters for next week.
Okay, I rewrote mine, and I'm happy to put it in the chat. I just want to confirm that I have this information. Team calls Tuesday night at 9 Eastern time. Sorry.
Yep.
Book club call for us is 1 on Wednesdays. And then the Facebook Messenger chat is Tuesday at 9 and Saturday at noon. No.
Wednesday at 11 Eastern. 10 Central. Nope. Wednesday.
No, that's Saturday.
You're right. Saturday.
It's Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights.
At 9 Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And then the Saturday one is at 10 Central, 11 Eastern.
Yes, because I did it wrong the first time. And
thank you.
Like, those events each week get created the week before. So if you need in them so that you can add people in there, then you just need to message. I mean, you could just message me or message Deanna or Laura, and any of us can get you added.
Yeah, I think Shay has a list of people she adds every week as soon as Deanna creates them.
Yeah, I did see her doing that, which is great.
because I got overlooked the first week and asked if I could be added, and now I'm on Shay's list, because you can see Deanna created it, and then
Yeah.
Shay added, Shay added, Shay added, Shay added.
Shay is the most silent leader ever. A fabulous, fabulous leader that rarely speaks. But if you need something done, it will get done very quickly. If you ever need something done real quickly, Shay's your girl.
She's very blue in the four colors.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So,
Good.
okay, so just one
Tina, we'll
chapter
look
for
at your-
next week.
Just chapter 5?
Just chapter 5. It's like 20 pages.
Oh, okay.
But then the week after that, we'll do 2, because I think the 2 of them together are not even 20 pages.
Awesome.
So, but one chapter for next week, chapter 5.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Hey, Angie, will you send me a write-up? Thanks, bye.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Will do.
Bye.
Thank you for the reminder.
Uh-huh.
Bye.